My friend accused me of being fake and unsupportive when she broke down at my engagement party because I didn't cancel everything and rally everyone to cheer her up, and she is dropping out as my wedding coordinator. I have a friend of about 10 years, let's call her Elaine, whom I asked to help with my wedding by being my day of coordinator. I'm a wedding planner myself, I just need someone I can trust to pull off the timing. She is a wedding planner in NYC for high-end clients, so I know just how skilled she is firsthand. She was thrilled to work with me. For about 8 months, we met for coffee and chatted every so often to catch her up on my plans. It felt like an absolutely perfect fit. Fast forward to my engagement party. My maid of honor hosted the party, and my bridesmaids put it all together. It was a beautiful masterpiece and could not have been any better. It was magical, until about 1 hour before the end. All of a sudden, my friend Elaine is in tears. She informs me that she remembered today was the anniversary of a really traumatic event in her life and she was having a panic attack. I was so concerned for her and wanted her to have her privacy and know that I was there for her. I sat with her after my maid of honor consoled her, and we hugged and cried together as I talked her through it. She said she wanted to rejoin the group but ultimately ended up leaving after going to the bathroom without saying anything to anyone. We sent her some texts but knew she would need some time and space before she replied. The next morning, I woke up to a voicemail from Elaine saying that she'll no longer be my coordinator because she felt unsupported and betrayed while she was going through a crisis. She felt the party shouldn't have continued and that we should have focused on cheering her up as a group. She also felt unthanked for planning my party. I was pretty shocked, not only by her accusations, but my bridesmaids planned my party and my maid of honor was the host. Am I missing something here? I apologized to her and told her I really thought I had tried my best to comfort her and help, but that really was not good enough for her and sounded like excuses. I can't stop thinking about how I just feel like I have whiplash from this whole thing. It was supposed to be, and was at first, one of our happiest days leading up to our wedding, but the hours and days following it have just felt like a dark cloud. Now we are 6 months away from the wedding with a lot of loose ends and a bruised heart. Am I overreacting? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. A high-end wedding planner should know that the wedding festivities go on despite their own feelings. Trying to hijack your attention from your own engagement party reeks of deeper issues. If you feel she deserves one good conversation and maybe a chance, it seems reasonable, given her previous reputation. However, if you think separation would ease any anxiety, you would be well justified. Ops response. Thank you, I appreciate you saying that. I guess I just feel guilty for resting on it's my party in a sense, but maybe I'm boiling it down too much. I didn't try to convince her to stay because I would be destroyed if something like this happened again on my wedding night. As much as I hate to say it. Edit to add, and you make a really great point about her professionalism. Commenter 2. Do you think maybe she's a bit jealous that someone else threw an event that you loved so much? That it's her bag and somehow she resents that the party went well and is directing those emotions toward you? You did nothing wrong, and it would have been wrong and insanely awkward for everyone else to stop the party because she was upset. A rational person would have taken themselves away from the party or even gone home if they were that distressed. Ops response. Wow. I hadn't considered that she was jealous for that reason, but you could be right. She had said a few things that seemed off to me, like they were compliments, but somehow she wasn't happy about it for me, and I didn't know what to make of it. Thanks for saying so. I tried to put myself in her shoes and felt sympathy for her but had trouble reconciling with her conclusions. Do you think it's worth being honest with her in any capacity? What I mean is, at our last convo she knew she needed an apology and to express herself and achieve those things. But I was blindsided, so I can't say I did a good job defending myself or knowing I needed to. Commenter 3. I'm sorry, but after what I'm assuming was over a period of time worth of discussions about the engagement party, and just friend-to-friend conversations because that's what friends do, since she didn't plan or host it, how did it take until 1 hour before it ended for her to remember the anniversary of a tragic event? I'll admit, I have some events that happened in my life that I consider to be tragic, but I'm still a little shaky on the dates. I may not remember the exact date, but I know the time frame. Or I might be consumed by life and not actually realize that today is that date. But she had to have known the date of the engagement party and had talked about it on more than one occasion. How did she never remember an event that was so tragic, to the point of having a panic attack, was approaching? Let's just say that's what happened. Why are you expected to end your celebration to cater to her? You and others took the time out to step aside and console her. You gave her time and privacy to gather herself. She decided she couldn't handle it and left, without notice. How is that your fault? Did she really expect you to tell your guests the party was over because she suddenly remembered a tragic event that you seem to be unaware of, I could be wrong, during a 10-year friendship span? I don't mean to sound harsh, But if she didn't need or expect your support for this anniversary every year, why were you expected to put your life on hold for it that day? I would like to think that if you'd known about it, you wouldn't have had it on that day, or at the very least told her you would understand that she couldn't make it. But how are you to do this in consideration of something that happened in her life that she didn't even remember herself? Op's response: I think there's a lot to be said for not realizing what day it is, so I won't sit here and speculate that. But one thing I will say is that throughout the past 4 months that the party was being planned, she never once mentioned it when I told her the date, sent her the invitation, and we made plans for her to come to town surrounding the date. Her goal was to attend the party and also make a weekend out of wedding planning before and afterward. About 3 days prior to the party, she did tell me a story about this traumatic event, but I had no context for how long ago it happened or that I should know this weekend was going to be an important date in that story. I felt oblivious to the small details I ended up being held responsible for. I'll be honest and say that I wouldn't move my party if it was already planned, but I would understand if she couldn't come. Op clarifies details on whether she was covering anything for Elaine for doing the wedding planning. Thank you. And yes, just to clarify, I was going to cover her costs for travel, gas, lodging, etc., as it pertains to the wedding coordinating. So since I won't be incurring any of those, I guess a thank you note will do it. And yes, I think that you're right that I can't possibly have her at my wedding. She wasn't even on my radar of people to worry about, and I don't need to knowingly add one, that's for sure. Update 9 days later. Hey everyone, I have an update. My ex-wedding coordinator, after apparent deliberation in the past few weeks, is saying she realizes now how selfish she had been and how poorly she treated me at and surrounding the party. I feel like my maid of honor must have said something to her. I only know what I've been able to gather from her 45-second voicemails that she's been leaving me before they cut her off. She seems to be sincere in wanting to apologize face-to-face, and that's okay I guess, but I'm just struggling with whether or not it's even right for me to be friends with someone like this, even if they're not invited to the wedding and don't live near me. And how do you be friends with someone you wouldn't invite to your wedding, not because the guest list is full, but because no matter how long or short the guest list was, you wouldn't invite them? I haven't heard her out yet, but she's asking for some form of communication with me. I don't even think I'm willing to have a conversation with her to take her apology, but would probably prefer her to write it to me instead, whether that be email, text, or, if she prefers, handwriting. I just don't want to be caught in a torrent of rebuttals and buts tacked on to the end of what was supposed to be an apology to me. I'm terrified of getting baited into a conversation where I feel yet again cornered and bullied because she turns it around on me somewhere. My head is a little spinny. Help? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. It sounds like you're not really interested in being friends with her, totally fair, and I'd feel the same, to be honest. If it were me, I'd probably text and say, hey, I got your messages. I'm not in a place where I want to be talking to you right now and just want to focus on wedding planning and events. Bet you appreciate the apology, and maybe you'll reach out after the wedding. That's probably what I would do. If her apology is genuine, she'll quit bugging you after that. But it sounds like she's got main character syndrome in spades, so she might put up a fuss. Then you can say you're not looking for drama right now, and if she doesn't leave you alone, you'll have to block her until after the wedding. Op's response. You're right. I'm not anymore. I think at first I felt like it was just another lost friendship, because I've had to draw these lines in the sand before with friends who were the kind who are always down on their luck but always making decisions to get themselves there. When things would go sideways between us, I would always feel guilty, even if I was the one with the grievance. I wasn't emotionally mature enough to understand that someone can be mad at you, but it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. I was never able to tell before. Now, it just takes me a while to come around. It's a little easier. So thank you for your feedback, and everyone's here, even if I didn't respond personally. Op adds an edit to her post. Thank you to everyone who read the post before commenting, and thank you for your words of encouragement. Just to clarify, I never received any apology in the voicemails she left, so whether or not I speak to her again, I don't consider it apology accepted. She's not forgiven. Also, she was never going to be my wedding coordinator after the day she tried to withdraw. There is no changing that. I am an experienced event planner and have learned that when a vendor lets you down big the first time, you let them go forever. It wasn't going to be that way with our friendship until all of this went down. I let her know that I did receive her voicemails but don't wish to speak to her and have nothing left to say outside of what my maid of honor likely said to her, from all the crying I did to her while I was processing all of this. I let her know a few more things I felt she should know and that she can write to me, but I won't be responding as if it's a back and forth. This isn't up for debate. I'll update here again if/when she writes. Op adds a second edit to her post. I got an email from Elaine today, and she was too pissed off at me for unfriending/unfollowing her on social media, so she told me that she didn't have time for my BS. It was as short as that, really. So there's nothing left to do or say, and maybe I won't forgive her, but I'll do my best to forget about it. Thanks to everyone who commented and was invested. Each of you gave me a little support.